Only Verizon gives you more of the best. 5G from America's most
man.
For over 2 decades, we focused on one philosophy, the 10 life values, a system that helps us examine our lives, our vision, our leadership. Our products and our services are exclusively for men, all men. The ones who teach and mentor our kids, maintain our livestock and grow our food, make and repair our products, saves us from catastrophe, and protect our nation. The 10 life values are woven into every product and service we create. Because at the end of the day, our vision is to see all men from every community equipped with the appropriate processes and the necessary tools to be excellent fathers and the best version of themselves they can be.
We're A-Game, a 100% Black-owned company with an all-natural product and world-class customer service. We're headquartered in California, and we manufacture, package, and ship right here in the United States. We ship to more than 125 distributors worldwide. Normal processing is 2 to 3 days, and we employ virtual tracking until our product is received. So, no matter where you are in the world, here we come, and we're bringing your A-game.
What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and we back here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to everybody who support the platform. Much love, man. I appreciate all the love and the support. Salute to everybody that's in the building right now. If you tuned in, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in, man. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Salute to everybody that's in the building. Yeah, man, it's like that sometimes, bro. You know how I go. You know how YouTube is, man. But if this is your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I drop some new content. Sometimes you might have to click the bell off, then click it back on, because you know YouTube don't be sending out the notifications all the time. So make sure you hit that notification bell, man. But shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you financially support the show. You could do that by going to CashApp $SheepStaySleepTV. That's CashApp $SheepStaySleepTV. That's where you can go to financially support the show. You got any questions in the comments you want me to acknowledge, put it through with your super chat, and I will post them. All other donation links will be in the chat room. All other donation links will be in the chat room. Shout out to the Masculine Mercenaries, man. Shout out to the Masculine Mercenaries. And we back here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV with another one. And as y'all know, I was supposed to do this show yesterday. But something had happened that actually speaks to this topic. So today's topic is, brother, how do you cope? How do you cope? Now, a lot of times when I come up with these topics, it's a reflection of me speaking to myself, me going through, some of the same things that you brothers go through on a daily basis, because we all wake up to something new every day. We wake up to a new challenge. We wake up to some type of encounter in which we have to force ourselves to look at it in a way where we can keep going and don't let it hinder us. because a lot of us brothers wake up on a daily basis and we experience just just a lot of hardships, man, a lot of letdowns, and that could get to a person, you know. So today we're gonna answer this question, or we're going to explore the question rather, because I want you guys to answer the question on how do you cope? How do you cope? Um, we're gonna speak on addiction and anger. Overall, we're speaking on the health value of us men and the importance of it, because a lot of us, you know, we don't see health as something to be as valuable as we should. I know I'm gonna say over the past, I'm gonna say 10 years, man, it's been a very big health push going on with us brothers. And I salute the brothers that push that stuff, you know, because it definitely got me into it. And I encourage brothers to begin to understand that health is wealth in its essence. Health is wealth, man. We got to be able to continue to be out here and what y'all call chase the bag. If we're gonna continue to try to achieve success, man, we got to be healthy mentally and physically. And as we know how everything goes, as above, so below, as within, so without. So a lot of times our physical health is attributed to how it's attributed to our mental conditions. And the way that a lot of us brothers cope is not good. And I'm gonna even have to say that for myself, that the way I choose to cope with things is not healthy. One of the first ways I've learned to cope with growing up in a gynocratic family, the first way I learned how to cope was to be angry. Anger. And this anger was cultivated in me from young. And it was pent up anger. It was built up anger. It was rage. And it was because, as we know, growing up in the gynocracy, in a gynocratic household, a gynocratically led family, right? We know that as boys, you're emasculated from the time you're able to talk, especially if your dad is a masculine guy, or you just exude a lot of masculinity from young. The gynocracy is going to automatically silence you, or they're going to beat you into submission where you're forced to be quiet and you're forced to just accept whatever you see and whatever you feel, and you can't speak out about it. You definitely can't go outside your house and speak out about it. You definitely can't do that. Oh no, you definitely don't want to do that. And then you can't go and speak to the people that's around, because those are the people that's doing to you what you're dealing with. So you can't go and tell them. So from young, I learned how to hold in my anger and suppress my emotions, which built up rage. This is why you see a lot of us brothers express ourselves in the way that we do when we're upset. We go into a rage. And it is because we were never allowed as men, well, as boys initially, to express how we feel, because we were taught to suppress how we feel. And we were also told that no one cares how we feel. So the way that we coped with that was we got used to being angry. We got used to being upset. This was me. I still deal with it today. I, I'm I'm learning a lot more how to channel it. I'm learning it. I'm learning a lot more. You see? But I was taught from young that, you know, my coping mechanism was anger. Just be mad. If you don't want to deal with being let down, if you don't want to deal with um being hurt in any form or fashion, always walk around with an angry exterior. Walk around angry. Always have a demeanor of you're upset. This is who I was. I'm much different than what I was, I'm gonna say 15 years ago. I'm much different than I was 10 years ago. I'm much different than what I was 5 years ago. Because I'm learning new ways on how to cope. Now, is some of my methods of coping still dysfunctional? Of course. Of course. But like I said, I'm learning how to channel my anger, because I'm beginning to understand more where the anger really comes from. You see? And this is what brothers gonna have to, this is what y'all gonna have to do, brothers. If y'all want to learn how to have functional coping mechanisms dealing with your anger due to past traumas that we deal with, we have to begin to figure out where the anger initially came from. And let me say this, brothers, when you go on that journey, because when you begin to look back and go back to assess where the issues came from, where your anger derived from, I'm gonna let you know this. You're going to get angry all over again. Let me say that again. When you are going on this journey, right, to figure out where's the source of your anger, you are going to get angry all over again. I need y'all brothers to understand that. Because, see, that's the beginning of the healing process. You see? And remember, that you are healing to be better for yourself. See, you being better for everyone else is only a direct result of you being better for yourself first. I need brothers to understand this. You cannot be a better boyfriend, a better lover, a better husband if you are not a better you for you. I got to be a better DS1 before I'm a better husband. I got to be a better DS1 first. Before I'm a better dad, I got to be a better DS1. You see, I have to heal. I have to get healthy. See, we're speaking on health value. And we're going to go into this in the next couple of these streams. As y'all can see, we're going to continue to go through these, especially the health value. Because just like there's a direct connection from the spiritual value to the wealth value, there's also a direct connection from your spiritual value to your health. Let me repeat that. Just like I've already proven that The Secret, the whole book, The Secret, was really showing and proving that spiritual value and wealth value is tied in one. But I need y'all to also understand that your health value is connected to your spiritual value. Because see, a lot of us brothers use anger as a coping mechanism because we truly don't understand who we really are. We truly don't understand how much more we mean to ourselves and to our community, brothers. We truly don't understand this. This is why we're angry. We're angry because we're lost. We're angry because we don't understand. And initially, we don't understand ourselves. Which, see how it's connected back to spiritual value? This is why a lot of brothers are bipolar. These are mental disorders that are connected to your spiritual value, your identity, who you are. You see? Another form of a coping mechanism that a lot of us brothers use, where, and this is myself, we all have addictions. We all have addictions. All of us is addicted to something in some form or fashion. We're addicted. We're addicted to something. Some of us are addicted to food. Some of us are addicted to cigarettes, controlled substances, marijuana, shopping. Some of us are addicted to YouTube. Some of us are addicted to entertainment. We have addictions. We have addictions. But we have to understand that addictions come from low health value, not us not understanding the importance of our health. And in a time when we're depressed, brothers, in a time when we're in despair, when we think No one is there to help us. When we feel that we don't have any agency, right? We lean on our addictions as coping mechanisms. You see, these are some of the main ways that we cope. And it's not functional. I know this, and I still have addictions. You see? See, this is why I always tell y'all, brothers, we got to heal before we build, but healing is a process. Healing is a journey. And it's a hard road to travel down, man. And it's not, and let me tell y'all, brothers, this too. Don't think it's a one-time thing. Don't think if you need to go to counseling, you go to counseling one time and you never need counseling again. See, don't let nobody tell you that. Healing is a process. It's an ongoing thing. There's always going to be something that you want to change. There's always going to be things that you want to withdraw from at some point in your life, fellas. There's always going to be some things that at some point in your life you're going to be ready to abstain from. You see? But you have to understand that when you're in a state of coping with things, you are in a state of survival. You are in survival mode when you are coping with things. You see? We're in survival mode. This is what we're doing. We're surviving. This is why we're coping. We're coping because we just want to get to the next day. We just want to be able to make it through this tough time that's been plaguing us for the past month or so. We just want to get through it. And this is why, as a group, Black men, when you look at us wealth-wise as a collective, we're in survival mode. As a Black man, to be financially thriving, all you have to do is make $50,000 a year. And you'll be considered a Black man that's thriving, or striving rather. You're striving now. You make it 50 grand a year, you striving. But the majority, but look at the percentage of that. What they say is what, about 10 to 15% of Black men that make over $45,000 a year. And it's even a smaller percentage that makes 100,000. It's like 1%. That is due to our health value. That is due to our current mental and physical state of being. There's a lot of Black men who have physical ailments, who are mentally ill. Look at states like New York. In New York, young Black men, millennials, guys my age and a little bit younger, are plaguing the mental hospitals. in the shelters in New York City. Young Black men are in mental institutions and in shelters because all their life they did nothing but learn how to cope. All they did was cope with things. And they use things like their anger and their addictions. And these things is what got them police records because of their anger and their addictions. This is how a lot of them got felonies. Because a lot of brothers did things out of despair because all they did was cope, man. So the way they cope with being hungry every day was they robbed people. So they don't have to go to sleep hungry. But see, brothers, this is why I said our health value is connected to our spiritual value. And this is why they say health is wealth. Because the health value is directly connected to the spiritual value, and the spiritual value and the wealth value is tied. And you learn that if you ever read the book, The Secret. The secret is you. That you manifest what you want based on the belief in self and having faith in what you do and what you say. When you sow a seed, right? When you put a thought out there, you water it. When you water it with your faith and with your works. So you just don't believe you'll be a NBA star. You don't just believe you'll be a successful YouTuber. You put the work in. You get up here, you put the work in. You put out quality content. You invest back into yourself. You put the work in on top of the belief. This is why they say faith without works is dead. Because you can have faith all you want, but if you don't do nothing, nothing's going to happen. The sun is going to be the sun, but if you don't water it, if you don't water, which, come on. You got to give your faith something to work with. This is what The Secret was talking about. But how are you going to continue to work in bad mental shape? You waking up stressed every day. You waking up with headaches every day. To the point where you done developed a goddamn aneurysm. Think about that. How you going to continue to work? Because from your mental state, now you have a physical ailment. Poor health. Yesterday, I was hit with some bad news. And one of the ways I cope with bad news is I act like it don't exist. And I keep working. I keep doing what my mind is set out to do. But yesterday, the news hit me different, and I had to sit down and recuperate. Because what I'm learning is, I'm learning that DS1, you can't keep coping by working. See, I'm learning that. DS1, you got to work. You got a work ethic, but you can't keep using work as a coping mechanism to ignore what's really going on in your life, to ignore the things that you're dealing with. Because I understand that shit is breaking me down. And yesterday, it broke me down. And now I know that I have to stop doing that because that's what I do. I just work through it. Like, yeah, word. Oh, that's getting ready to happen. All right, well, I cross that bridge when it get there. I'm gonna just keep doing what I've been doing. This is how some of us brothers work ourselves, and one day we just collapse and die, and nobody know what happened. This is how stuff like this happens because we constantly just coping, coping, and we coping in the wrong way. We're coping in dysfunctional ways, man. We think as long as we just get the bag, everything will be okay. Everything will be okay if you get the bag and you mentally sane and you're physically healthy. Then everything will be great. But working through pain and working through mental trauma is not healthy. And I'm beginning to learn that because that's what I do. I work through it. I just want, what I do is I continue to focus on my goals and act like what I just heard, I put that shit to the back. And that's not good because then when my emotions come out about that, it doesn't come out in the correct way. And this is why I'm bringing you brothers this topic today, because you have to begin to learn how to functionally deal with your anger. And stop using it as a way to cope. Stop using that as a response to how you really supposed to feel about that situation. You see? And shout out to the Crimson Cure because she said that black men are the beast of burden. And if we're the beast of burden, this is why we suffer in silence. Make sure y'all go check that stream out. It's in the XLV series playlist. This is why we suffer in silence. This is why we cope with anger. This is why we cope with addiction. This is why we cope with sex. This is why we cope with food. This is why we cope with shopping. These are all coping mechanisms. When used correctly, can be good. But a lot of times we don't learn how to use something correctly until we find out that we're using the shit incorrectly first. And we all know that. We all know that. We all know that, or we know now that a lot of the things that we were doing and that we saw other brothers doing growing up, we know that that's not functional now. It's not functional. It's not functional in no way. Y'all give me a second. 1 second, y'all. Okay, we back. But we have to understand that growing up and we saw our uncles chilling outside with the 40s in the bags and the White Owls and the Dutches and the Phillies. And we thought that that stuff was cool. We thought that that's just what dudes do. That's not just what dudes do, because all men don't live that way. Let me repeat that. That's not just what dudes do, because all men don't live that way. The men that you saw living that way chose to live that way. And they made those choices based on what? Their environment and what they were taught based on their environment. We just spoke on dwelling value. So if you grew up in the hood and what you saw was the older dudes with the blunts in the 40s, me and my friends, we grew up and we took after that image. Because not only did we see them with the blunts in the 40s, but the women were smoking and drinking with them. So that added to it. Like, oh yeah, we really gonna do this because this is what women like. But as you get older, you have to begin to see that it wasn't that she liked him for him. She may have just liked him because he always had weed and beer. See, this is what we're learning here. It wasn't about, oh, she liked him or this, that. No, it wasn't about that. It was about us watching two traumatized individuals coping with their experiences in life. So when we saw them brothers on the corner shooting dice in the 90s with the fangs in their mouth, with the fatigue suits, right? Those was brothers who was just doing what they thought was the best thing to do based on what they had available to them in their environment. They were just coping. The beer got them through the night. The joints got them through the night. The women got them through the night. It was never nothing cool, fellas. Because black men have always been in the state of survival.